Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Studios here, and welcome back to another review. And today, I'm going to be doing a review on a show that it took me a while to actually review it this time around, but now I am finally doing it. The Last of Us Season 2. So, The Last of Us Season 2 is the second season of The Last of Us show, which the first season was a huge hit. I'll get to that later. And it is a show created by Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin, and it stars Bella Ramsey, Pedro Pascal, Isabella Merced, Caitlin Dever, Gabriel Luna, Danny Ramirez, Young Mazzino, Rutina Wesley, Robert John Brook, Spencer Lord, Tati Gabrielle, etc. And also it came out back in April of this year. I mean it premiered on April, and it tells a story taking place a few years after the events of the first season. I don't know if it takes place years, but I believe that it did take place not quite long. Well, I don't remember the time period honestly, but whatever. So yeah, so Ellie and Joel have both grown apart. They both started to hate each other, and Ellie it was getting sick of Joel acting desperately, acting like her father, and Ellie just wants to be free in the world without being trapped in a cage. And what I mean by that is Ellie not doesn't want to be just told what to do all the time by Joel. But then comes a group, this cult group led by Abby, who Abby is determined for revenge after Joel has killed her her father in the event of the final season of Last of Us season 1. And so in the second episode, Abby is succeeds in killing in Joel, which drives Ellie mad about it. So determined for revenge, Ellie and Dinah go on a journey together across Seattle to find to find Abby and get revenge on her, and pretty much kill her for killing Joel. So yeah, so that's the synopsis of it. So yeah, guys, I'm so sorry it took me a while for me to review it. It was like I feel like I've put it off for some time, but I know it's not because like I'm sure you probably think, oh, you probably don't like it, but you just it took you a while because of blah blah blah. But no, not at all. And yeah, the reason why it took me a long time to review the show is because I just needed some time to reflect on the show, and also I got other reviews to do back then. Like when the show ended, I was like, okay, I'll review it on this day. But actually, I didn't have time, and when I did have time to make a new video, a new idea for a video will come up with just which disrupted this video being made. So yeah, but I think the main factor to slowing me down from reviewing this show is the is having the episodes be split by weeks. So episode 1 is like this week, and then episode 2 is this week, and then the next week, and then the next week, and then the next week, and then blah blah blah. That's kind of what I really don't like about shows lately. Is that they always separate 1 week apart. Like there's a reason why I review Netflix shows so easily with shows like Cobra Kai and Stranger Things. It's not because they're my favorite shows of all time. It's because they're a lot easier to follow. When all the episodes of a show release simultaneously, it's easy to just binge through them. And when you binge through these shows, you actually have an easier time to review them. But with shows like this, and also the Disney Plus shows like Daredevil Born Again, they're actually pretty hard to review because of how split they are. Yeah. So yeah. Now let's talk about the Last of Us games. I think Last of Us is the single greatest video game franchises of all time, bar none. I absolutely love these Last of Us games, and I will cherish them to the day I die. Last of Us Part One, what is just absolutely excellent. I mean, we all know how good it is. But Last of Us Part Two, the most controversial video game in history, a game that kills off its main character, which has triggered people, as they believe that they only killed off Joel to push the girl power narrative forward. And then you also got the Abby, the most hated video game character of all time, up to the point where they bully the actress up, which I actually forgot the name of that the actress who played video game version of Abby. So there's that. So yeah, but I gotta say, guys, Last of Us Part Two is my absolute favorite video game of all time. I don't care what anyone says. I absolutely love it. I think it is a show that really how do I say this that really takes a lot of bold swings, and it also is a show that's just so replayable. It's honestly tied with Queen's. It's honestly among the absolute best pieces of media to come out in 2020. I think it is. I think Last of Us Part Two is the best piece of media to come out in 2020. AKA the worst year ever. Yeah. Yes, a video game in a year is better than my favorite movie of that year. So, and my favorite TV show of that year, Queen's Gambit, which needs to rewatch. But I always love Queen's Gambit, by the way. So when it comes to the first season of The Last of Us, I think Last of Us is the perfect video game adaptation, and it should be the definitive video game adaptation. Why? Because it actually stays true to the source material. Sure, you argue that the cast seems unfaithful, like how Bella Ramsey as Ellie feels like a miscast because of how she does not look like Ellie. And also yes, some have a question that Pedro Pascal as Joel. But when it comes to the storyline of it all, it actually does feel like the games. It actually follows the story. Um, Follows the story of the games, and it does make some minimal changes to it. But these changes are necessary, and they don't ruin the game. That's how to adapt. And that's what a vast majority of the remakes, especially remakes today, should take note of when you make your changes. Yeah, the Little Stitch remake is a perfect example of how changes to the source material can damage. But Last of Us, that is how you change, make story changes that actually work. So going into season two of the Last of Us, this is an adaptation of one of the most of a controversial source material. So it was going to be tough for that to happen. But considering how Last of Us Part Two is one of the longest running games ever, which takes like approximately 20 hours if you do like one whole round of it all, as it has just so much going on. Like ad- Adapting it in one season would be risky because typically, the way Hollywood would do it is just rush it up. But when it comes to this show, Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin had a brilliant idea on how they can faithfully adapt Last of Us Part 2. They split it up into multiple seasons. Now that is how you do it right there. Yeah, so splitting Last of Us Part Two adaptation up into like 2 or 3 seasons. I don't remember how much. I know that there is a part two of this a season three coming, which continues the adaptation. I don't know if they're making a season four though. We'll see how it ends, but I don't remember any official announcements uh covering that. But it is but it is actually a brilliant choice to adapt um The Last of Us with the multiple seasons. I mean, Last of Us Part Two, and yeah, I know this season I am not surprised that this season was gonna get a lot of hate and backlash because of its source material. But god damn, that this season has even more hate than the actual game. So even defenders of Last of Us Part Two have been torn apart by this season, and they were all like calling it a letdown. There was hardly anyone who actually likes this, besides maybe a few critics and also my former friend Harry Thomas Pictures, who sadly I'm no longer friends with. Me and him have broken up our friendship. But honestly, I don't mind here. I don't mind here. I will say that I am not mad. But yeah. Now I hope that there will actually be someone in the comments who will not only actually watch this video but agree with me about how good this season, this show is, how good this is. And yeah, so Last of Us season two was one of my most anticipated shows of the year. And after seeing this season for myself, the whole season, let me one sec. I gotta say, this is a freaking underrated gem. Yeah. Oh, by the way, so before I move forward, I just want to address the underrated gem title. Now, now with the underrated gem term, I will say that this will probably be the last time I will call this an underrated. I will use the underrated gem title in my reviews because that term is getting old now. That is like all things to Trolls Bandolier Fan 2001, who just calls everything underrated gem. Like why this movie is an underrated gem. Like he thinks everything is an underrated gem. So I am not going to do that anymore. In fact, guys, I am going to be making a change on my channel. I am reverting back to my reviews being called either movie reviews, movie rants, extreme rants, and blah blah blah. I think that is better. Yeah, I think that is a better yeah. I think it's just better because I'm just running out of ideas for titles on my reviews nowadays. Like they're just getting a bit lazier. And by the way, yes, I'll still, even though I'm no longer friends with Harry Thomas, I will still take inspiration from him. Like when it comes to extreme epic rants and also biggest extreme epic rants, yeah, I will do those kinds of videos when I want to. But yeah, but just because it's my ideas is similar to Harry Thomas does not mean yeah, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, let's move on to Last of Us season two. Why do I love this season so much? Besides everyone else hating it, well, let's get this out of the way. It's freaking faithful to the game, to the actual games. Yeah, despite again just like with the first season, a few changes to the source material and casting of actors who don't look like their actual characters that they're playing. Um, the way that they tell the story and the pace of it all, it absolutely feels like part two. Feels like season two. Now, yes, the first season, the first episode of the season. Now, it didn't really start the same way as the game started. I kind of remember how exactly the game started, and and when it comes to this season, it actually took until the end, like towards the end of this episode to actually start off where the actual game started off. But the changes are necessary because it makes the show feel like its own thing. That's actually what makes the decision to change some stuff so great. It's that it feels like the actual, like it feels like a TV show that stands on its own, and it's not relying on being exactly like the game. And but when it comes to certain plot points that was needed, they really knocked it out of the park. And sure, yes, the pacing of this season is slow. There's no denying on that. But I mean, it is necessary because the actual Last of Us season two game is slow. Slow paced. Yeah. I but I think it is still a very engaging watch because I've always cared about these characters. I care so much about Joel and Ellie, so that's actually what makes characters magic to me. Because even if you have a story that's very like slowly told, when you have characters on screen that you love, you can still feel like you're spending time with them, and that's how to engage with the story. The story is trying to. Oh, by the way, something just came out of my head right now. I gotta mention this. I forgot to mention Jeffrey Wright, and when I mentioned the cast, yeah, I forgot Jeffrey Wright. Yeah, my bad on that. But yeah, so now let's talk about Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Yeah, oh boy, I got things to say about. No, not that the performance itself or the actress, but the fucking controversy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I got it. I gotta make this rant first before I move on. Yeah, Last of Us fans, how the Last of Us fandom has freaking let me down. Like I was part of the fandom, but good God, they let me down because they have become so incredibly toxic. Yeah, they have become toxic at this point. Sure, yes, Last of Us fandom became toxic with The Last of Us Part Two. Bullying, bullying the actress of Abby, but bullying Bella Ramsey, that's even worse. How? But we all knew that Bella Ramsey looks like Ellie. I mean, does not look like Ellie. But when it comes to when it comes to season two of the Last of Us, I mean season one, The Last of Us, nobody complained about Bella Ramsey playing Ellie. So how come now all of a sudden Bella Ramsey just sparked this huge fan hate base up to the point where she is now even more hated than Rachel Zegler. Now don't get me wrong, I'm more of a Rachel Zegler fan than Bella Ramsey fan, so I'm kind of glad in a way that Rachel Zegler is no longer the most hated actress ever. But come on, like, why not the bully Sydney Agudong from um, Lilo and Stitch remake, or even Neko Parker from the How to Train Your Dragon remake? Why bully actresses that I like? Like, come on now. I mean, Bella Ramsey did not do anything wrong. I mean, Rachel Zegler may have made some comments that have triggered people, but did Bella Ramsey make comments that trigger people? No. She's just acting as Ellie, but people just act like they want. People just treat her like a freaking terrorist and all that stuff. So yeah, fuck the fan base in the ass for bullying Ellie. I am not tolerating it at all. I feel bad for Bella Ramsey as Ellie. And and yes, Bella Ramsey is perfect as Ellie. She still got it. This is still Ellie. Like this, like Ellie in this one. Yeah, she is. Now, yeah, this is Ellie right here, an actually good Ellie. And I think she did such a terrific job with her performance. Like, there's not, I didn't see anything wrong with her performance. She's so good at Ellie. And she proves that you don't need to look like the character to act well like the character. I know you're gonna say, oh, but Frozen, you hated on the Nicole Parker's Astrid just because she doesn't look like Astrid. But how come you're praising Bella Ramsey's Ellie for not looking like Ellie, but still performing well. But you can even acknowledge that with Nicole Parker. Well, here's the difference. Nicole Parker, she did not put any effort into her performance as Astrid. I mean, not only does she not look like Astrid, but there's just no passion. There's no dedication to her performance. She's just trying to make Astrid look bad. And by the way, I've kind of mentioned this in my How to Train Your Dragon rant, but fuck the people who say that that Nicole Parker's Astrid is better than America Ferrera's Astrid. That is bullshit. You just hate hot female characters. But anyways, yeah. So back to this, yeah. But Bella Ramsey, she may not look like Ellie, but you can feel the love that she has for the character. And I think she's age appropriate for it because like why would you want to cast an older actress as CEO Ellie? Like I think one common cliches of Hollywood is casting adult actresses to play children. Like that's kind of getting old now, honestly. Like, why don't you actually find actual teenage actors to play teenage characters? It's not that freaking hard. But yeah, also there's also Pedro Pascal as Joel, which is commonly one of the most praised aspect of The Last of Us. Yeah, Joel is currently Pedro Pascal's best performance, but I think that he will. But I think that Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four First Steps will top Joel as Pedro Pascal's best performance. But yeah, what can I say about Pedro Pascal as Joel? Okay, well, he is not as good in this one as in season one, but I get it. I get why, because season one is Joel's stories, but season two is Ellie's story. Like, other characters get to shine. So I don't think Pedro Pascal put in his 110% that he like 110% in his performance the same way that he did in season one. But he's still fantastic as Joel. He still proves that he's perfect as Joel. Yeah. So there's that, and yeah. Now, thankfully, there is something in this that is actually well received. A certain element to this, and that is Isabel Merced as Dina. Now, I don't know. I don't remember what people thought about Dina in the Last of Us games, but I hear a lot of people say that that Dinah is or Dina. I'll call her Dina. Or Dina is. People say that Isabella Merced as Dina is the standout of this season. And I gotta say, I don't blame you if you think that she is a standout, because she was really good. In fact, guys, I gotta say, this is Isabella Merced's best performance yet in her entire career, and honestly, there's no competition. I think Isabella Merced is one of the most underrated actresses working today, and she gets better and better and better. With roles like Alia Romulus and a few others. She was the saving grace of Transformers the last night. She's in the upcoming Superman as Hawk Girl, but Dina is her definitive performance without a shadow of a doubt. Like, amazing. And one of the core focuses of this season is the chemistry between Ellie and Dinah. That was the sole focus of this whole season. And I gotta say, they had a great chemistry. I think Ellie and Dina are now the best lesbian couples ever. Like, they are so good, and you actually feel and you actually do feel chemistry with them. Yeah, chemistry with them. Like, you actually buy into them, and the show takes its time to develop their chemistry, and it freaking works, man. Although, yes, there is one controversy that was probably like people's breaking point with Bella Ramsey's Ellie, and that was when Dina gets pregnant, and Bella Ramsey says that I'm going to be a dad. That was the moment people just blew it with the way they cyberbullied Bella Ramsey, up to the point where they literally made edits of her face being slapped on to characters like MODOK or Buzz Lightyear, Kevin Spacey, heck, even freaking Donald Trump. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Bella Ramsey haters? You better get the fuck out of the internet. I swear to God. But yeah, I mean, I know that when Bella Ramsey says that I'm going to be a dad, that's actually a metaphor for being the one in the couple who isn't who is not pregnant, because usually in a straight couple, the mother is the one who's pregnant, and the father is not. So that's why Bella Ramsey sees herself as a dad. That is a metaphor for just not being the pregnant one, so that it makes sense. Like, use your common logic, people. She doesn't say I'm a man like that and all that stuff. So yeah, but the real standout of this season, in my opinion, is Caitlin Dever as Abby. Yeah, sure. Don't get me wrong. She does not have a lot of screen time here. I get that, because it focuses on it mainly focuses on Ellie and Dinah and their relationship together, but and also their Ellie's journey in searching for Abby. But man, when Abby appears on screen, she absolutely steals it. So maybe with the exception of episode one, which I think is the weakest episode of the season, any episode with Caitlin Dever as Abby showing up in it is it is top tier episodes for me. Like episode seven. Yeah, episode seven is the weakest. The episode seven is a better finale than season one's finale from episode nine. I'll talk about the cliffhanger later on, but yeah, let's talk about the best episode in the season, episode two. Like, who knew that episode two would be such a banger? In majority of shows I've seen, episode two tends to be the weakest one of its respective season. But this one, they managed to make episode two the best one of it all. Episode two has the the highest stakes with the zombies. And by the way, the zombie attacks like the clickers, they are even more intense than in season one for damn sure. But the moment that absolutely blew my mind and the absolute best moment of the show is the death of Joel, the most controversial scene in the game, and they absolutely knocked it out of the park in this season. Yeah, the way that Abby confronted Joel is absolute. It's just so intense. Yeah. Like damn. I mean, it's also very even more brutal too. I mean, we see in the games, Abby just does straight up kills Joel's without just smacking him. But in this one, she absolutely smacks the living shit out of him. Like holy damn, that is just absolutely insane. What she does, and you can really feel the pain that Joel went through, and also I love it when Ellie comes into the picture and witnesses Joel's death. My goodness, Bella Ramsey's acting performance when she witnesses Joel's death, it is so heartbreaking. And yes, guys, I actually just outright cried and sobbed with Joel's death. That is just absolutely emotional. It's even more emotional than the games. Oh man, guys, I actually did not cry when Joel died in the games, but in this show, I absolutely cried. I cried my ass out. So yeah. Oh, another standout episode of the season for me is episode five, an action oriented episode, and one of the darker episodes of the season that shows Ellie facing off against one of secondary antagonist of the show, Nora. Oh man, like another episode where Bella Ramsey truly shines with her talent, especially when she shows her anger towards Nora, the character of Nora. Oh man, that was just brilliant acting right there for damn sure. And also the cliffhanger to season three as well. Yeah, we gotta talk about that. So I think the cliffhanger to the cliffhanger where Ellie finally finds Abby, and then Abby confronts everyone, and then the actual conclusion to this season is the Seattle scene where um, Abby wakes up in Seattle, I think that's the name, and then she just looks out of the window and like and all that stuff. Yeah, that ending in the actual game, it's meant to be the transition to Abby's story. So like from the moment the game switches from Ellie and Dinah's story to Abby's story. So I think that cliffhanger was perfect as it is the transition to Abby's story. And yeah, and yeah, by the way, I love how season three is confirmed to focus on Abby. Abby will be the main character of season three, and I think that season three will top season two. And I think that is the main reason why, because I just love sure, as much as I will defend Bella Ramsey with all my life, I think it's clear that Caitlyn Dever as Abby is a standout, and so a whole season focusing on Caitlyn Dever's Abby, that is going to be peak right there. That is already topping bound to top peakness. So overall, The Last of Us season two is not only a season that is better than the first one, but it is to me the greatest video game adaptation ever. Like the perfect video game adaptation to my favorite game of all time. This game absolutely tells the story right. It takes its time. It gets almost every single detail possible from the games, that especially the important ones, while adding a few extra bits and pieces of there to you know to add a bit more to this. And the the decision to split this into this adaptation into multiple seasons is brilliant, and like a way to actually stay true to the games without rushing it. I mean, Bella Ramsey gives out the most underrated performance ever. One of the most overhated performance. Isabel Merced and especially Caitlyn Dever both steal the show. Oh, and also I forgot to mention as well, Young Mazino as Jesse. Jesse is the one character of the show who was actually ripped straight up from the games. He actually feels like his game stuff. He looks exactly like Jesse from the game, so I'll give it that. So yeah, this would be my second favorite show of the year so far. Second only behind, of course, Cobra Kai season six part three. So as I said, guys, I'm gonna give The Last of Us season two, of course, 5 stars out of 5. Perfect video game adaptation. So yeah, don't care. I don't care what anyone else says. If you bash my opinion about me liking this show, I am going to block to not block, not maybe block, but also to delete your comments as well. So watch out. So also for my review of The Last of Us season two, what are your thoughts on on the season? Would you agree with me that this is the best video game adaptation ever? Would you at least agree that this is better than the first season, despite there being better video game adaptations to you? Or are you a part of the hate base for the show, and you think that this show deserved the hate that it got? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review on Turning Red, leading up to Elio, a movie that I've put off on my channel for so long. I don't know why, but I'm finally reviewing it. So yeah, bye guys.